Is going on, girls and boys? We are here and live. We're ready to go for another podcast episode. So this one's a little bit out of sync, but I wanted to come in live, have a chat to my team, and we're going to start this one in just 2 minutes. So if you want to come into this one live, guys, let us know that you're here, and we're going to be ripping into this very quickly. We're not going to mess around. I'm feeling fucking energetic this morning, and I want to come in here and talk about happiness. And what the fuck is a fitness coach doing talking about happiness? And that would be a reasonable question to ask. So we're going to dig into this one very soon, guys. So if you're coming into this one live and you want to get involved, let us know that you're here in the comments. We're going to start in 1 minute. 1 minute, and I've got some fun news. Firstly, all of our merch has just gone to the printers this morning, so if you got merch, happy days. Second thing is I've just booked a trip to Australia. Cannot wait. So that's in March next year. I'm freaking pumped about that. Hey Cara, hey Kirsty, hey Toddy, what's going on, dudes? I hope you're having a beautiful start. We're going to start this in 30 seconds, guys. So hold on up if you are here. Hello, Toddy. What's going on, man? Lovely to have your company in here this morning, my brother. So, guys, what are we? Tuesday, kicking off another new week. Excited about the footy finals. I don't know about you guys. If you've got no interest in the NRL, you couldn't give a shit, but I'm super freaking pumped. It's going to be a nice little 3 or 4 weeks. All right, so we're going to get straight into this. I'm going to bring in the crew on Instagram, and we are good. All right, let's do this, guys. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is the Better Body Academy podcast. What we are doing here is a very short podcast snack. I want to just talk very casually about a conversation that I had with one of our clients this morning. He is an extremely valued client and a bloody legend that has completely changed his life in the process. And when I got on the phone to him, I was feeling a real sense of kind of like tiredness and depletion of energy. And I knew that at that point, he definitely needed a little bit of a pick-me-up. And I think one of the things that I've noticed is that when a lot of people are not doing any type of fitness transformation, they're just kind of, just winging it and doing their own thing and relaxing in life, they're often happier than when they're actually trying to improve their life. Does anyone feel that same thing? I think when you get into the mode where you're trying to improve yourself, you're like, I want to lose weight, or I want to get stronger, or whatever it is that your metrics are, sometimes the frustration of slow results is like, oh, this is fucking pissing me off, and I'm stepping on the scales, and the scales don't say what I want them to say. I'm getting in the gym and it feels like progress is hard, and we get caught in these slumps, right? Does anyone feel that? These slumps can go for a couple of hours, or maybe a couple of days, or even in some cases a couple of months, and for a lot of people a couple of years. And so one of the things that I really think is relevant to talk about is this idea of the expectations that we set around happiness. Okay? So I think for a lot of people that are starting a transformation, they have in their mind that once they lose weight, they will be happy. Once they look a certain way in the mirror, they will be happy. And outside of a fitness transformation, I reckon all of us do this, right? Once we get ourselves into a relationship that's good, we'll be happy. Once we get the job that we really wanted, then we'll be happy. Once we have $10,000 in the bank account, we'll be happy. $100,000 in the bank account, we'll be happy. Maybe for you it's $1 million in the bank account, we'll be happy. So the pattern that we set ourselves is, for me, a bit of a problem for 2 reasons. Number one, it's always predicated on this future thing, right? the attainment of something in the future. Number one, that's problem number one for me. And by the way, I'm not immune to this. I do the same thing and then I catch myself doing it. I'll be happy when I've got this, my business looks like this, or my relationship looks like this, or I move back to Australia, or whatever the thing is. So we firstly make the mistake of putting our happiness into the future. Number one. Number two, I personally think that the word happiness is a dangerous word to use, because to be happy almost sounds like it's a state of bliss that you're going to enter, to which you will never be unhappy again. And I'm a realist. I tend to think that for most of us, life is going to have equal shit show as it is going to be, what we call happiness. So it's about what are the expectations that we're actually setting for ourselves? I think a lot of people get caught in setting themselves an expectation about how life should be. And when life's not like that, they're pissed off about themselves and life sucks. So the two ideas I want to discuss with you are, is happiness what you're actually chasing? That's number one. Number two is, how do you contend with this idea of being both ambitious about something in the future and happy about something that you've already got, grateful for what you've got in the present? And again, on a nutrition and training podcast, for me, this is relevant to talk about because so many of us are operating in this frame that I'll be happy when this happens in the future. So the first thing is happiness. Is happiness what you actually want? Is this what we should be chasing? This happiness without any opposite. For me, it's the wrong word. I would invite you to consider a word like contentment or fulfillment or something along those lines, where it's not binary, where it's not you're either this or either that. I'll give you an example. In my life, I know that I feel most content when I am developing as a person. That is, when I'm reading books, when I'm studying courses, when I'm feeling like I'm working on myself. And when I feel most unhappy, and I would put that as the word discontent, it's when I'm not moving forward. It's when I'm staying in the same fucking place and I'm not working on myself. Maybe I'm too tired, unmotivated, whatever the reason is. And coming on to do this podcast is probably in a way significant of the fact that I feel very energized at the moment and I want to communicate this to you at the right time. So just ask yourself, is happiness what you're actually chasing? Because if you're setting the expectations that you want to be happy, but actually what you want to feel is some progress, you want to feel some optimism, some positivity, maybe you want to feel like you're doing good in the world, you want to feel like you're achieving, maybe you just want to escape self-hatred. Maybe you've been looking in the mirror for too long and feeling like you've had this rhetoric of words that you've been talking to yourself for a long period of time and it's fucking terrible and you just want to stop that. And so if you're able to make some progress around this, number one, this is great. Don't set yourself up with, I'm happy or not. Understand that 50% of days are going to be tough. And that's completely okay. That's not good or bad. That's not good or bad. 50% of days is not good or bad. It just is. And it's about how we react to those days. If we know that those days are going to happen, what do? We don't sabotage. We don't nail ourselves to a tree and you know what? We just, okay, cool. That was just one of those days. And we don't harp on it. We go to sleep at night and we wake up fresh the next morning. The second idea that I want to talk about is this idea of happiness or contentment being in the distant future. So I want to share with you a frame that I was taught by a coach a couple of years ago. I really like the idea of like thinking in templates because I'm a very visual person. If you are, then you'll know what I mean. So for me, it's this idea of, it's called the walk of success. Okay? I want you to imagine you're going to live to 100 years old and you're walking through life putting one foot in front of the other. For me, the goal is to have equal amounts of both ambition, which is future-based, right? And gratitude, which is present-based. So let me explain a little bit deeper. I think that a lot of people get incredibly unhappy. The reason is because they're always thinking about the future. When I'm happy, when I've got enough money, when I've got the job, when I've got the body, when I like myself in the mirror. So what that does is, because you're constantly looking into the future and pinning your happiness there, that turns the present moment into something that you want to go past really quickly. Does anyone feel that idea? You want to just like hurry up the next year or hurry up the next few days so I can get to this future piece. So everything you do in life becomes like, I'm trying to get through the next few days just so I can get to this future. That's a really tough place to be in and to live in. So the walk of success is equal parts of ambition, desire for a better future, and secondly, gratitude. So what does that mean? I was having a conversation with the same client this morning, and I explained to him that for me, the happiest and most grateful I am in my life at the moment is when I'm sitting down and reading in the morning, and then my kiddos get up out of bed and they walk up and they say, "Daddy, can we get a morning hug?" And that makes me feel so fulfilled and so grateful. But if all I can think about is all the work that I've got to do today, and I'm projecting off into this future happiness point, when I have the money, I'll spend more time with my kids. When I have the body, I'll spend more time with my kids when I can get them on a holiday. I'm destroying what is a beautiful, grateful present moment in the hope that something will be better in the future, to which at that point in time, if that actually does happen, I will have wasted the 10, 20, 30 years of living for some future happiness. This might sound a little bit distant and remote this morning, but I think a lot in my own life about happiness. And one of the, I don't know if it's frustrations or challenges that I really feel working as a coach, is seeing clients just step on the scales and all of a sudden feel like their happiness is taken away by their relationship to gravity. And it's like, it's really sad for me to think that a person's outlook on their day, their perspective on their day, is being determined by how much they weigh. What about all the great things in your life? So if you're walking the walk of success, asking yourself constantly, what am I actually grateful for? Like, what's good about right now? What's good about right now? What have I done? What have I achieved? Secondly, having ambition is good. So it's got to be an equal mix of both. And I do hope that that kind of analogy maybe helps it stick for you. The walk of success is about having equal amounts of ambition for the future and gratitude for the present moment, because then you can walk forward and carry yourself in a way that is excited about what's to come, but also very happy about what you already have. And the final thing to reflect on is, are you actually chasing happiness? What do you actually want? Because if you're chasing happiness, but actually what you want is to feel content or some other emotion, then there might be some segregation between what you're actually trying to go after and what you're actually really, really wanting and what you're getting. Does this make sense? I'm going to leave the podcast there, guys. Hopefully this wasn't kind of too distant, but it's a bit of a reflection of where I kind of start to see clients get into these kind of holes and become their own worst enemy and start repeating this story of I'm stuck. No, you're not stuck. You can choose right now to listen to this podcast episode and say, I'm going to put an end to that story. I'm fucking done with that story. That story ends now. You have that option if you want. It takes practice. It takes constantly monitoring your thoughts. But we all know that we become the product of what we think about all of the time. And if all you're thinking of is the shit fight that is your life, well, no wonder you can't create something better than you've currently got. Make sense? This has been the Better Body Academy podcast. Hopefully it's been helpful. I'll see you in the next episode.